Idea for return to murder house. ID love for murder house to have a proper conclusion before August ends. Potential new buyers are looking at murder house. A woman who is buying for a foreign investor inspects the house. Violent, de-aged, and femme try to scare her off. However, they realize they can't appear to her, or even the real estate agent. They are completely invisible to them. The house is divided into those who want to save people from dying in the house, and those who are trouble and want to murder. The house sells, and the buyer for the foreign investor starts moving in. The ghosts still can't appear to her and don't know what is happening. A day later, moving men come in and start taking boxes of equipment down to the basement. Violet goes to go down to the basement, however, is returned to the front door. Violet can no longer access the basement, nor can any other ghost. Just like if they try to leave the property, they are returned. Shortly after, two other ghosts are fighting in the hallway and are jokingly stabbing, killing each other, as they will always wake up again. However, a day later, the body of the ghosts don't not wake up. They both just continue to lay there. The house ghosts suddenly realize it's not them, it's the house. The rules of being a ghost in the house have changed. A week later, the foreign investor family arrives. They come in the house. The buyer woman is at the head of the table and the family is seated around the rest of it. The husband mentions he is glad to finally have a place to call home, when the buyer woman jokingly laughs and says, well, the family will never have to leave. Suddenly, all the bad ghosts appear and kill all the family seated at the table. The buyer woman then reveals herself to the good ghosts, advising she is the one manipulating the rules for the house, and if they plan to stick around, they better get on board. Suddenly, the good ghosts realize they have lost their ability to protect people dying in the house, and the bad ghosts now have the hierarchy as they are being allowed to appear. Violet is given the opportunity to counsel the buyer woman on the hierarchy and history of the murder house. She is permitted access to the basement and follows the buyer woman downstairs. Violet sees a giant living demonic gooey black egg hanging from the basement ceiling. The recently murdered family bodies lay around it as long vines wrap around and entangle them as blood is siphoned from their dead bodies to feed the egg. Violet asks, what is it? The buyer woman responds stoically, my demon, one of my many, and once born will need to feast, not on the living but on the dead. Dead bodies, Violet inquires. Dead souls, the buyer lady responds. Violet realizes why the rules of the house are finally being manipulated to give birth to the demon. We then get a flashback to hotel where it is revealed she is the one who created the addiction demon. Violet, realizing she can appear again and can now hold things, goes to kill the egg, but the buyer lady simply says night-night and the screen goes black. 3 weeks later, Violet wakes up again, realizing she had been vanished for 3 weeks. Upon returning, the egg has hatched. Dead ghosts lie all over the house, one by one being eaten by the demon. The bad ghosts form an alliance and start capturing the good ghosts to feed to the demon, as they also come up with a plan to host a frat Halloween party to lure more people to the house to kill them to feed the demon. A civil war breaks out between the ghosts, with some of the good ghosts playing politics and switching sides to the bad ghosts to avoid being devoured by the demon.